Hi, everyone. Okay, we've got Lynette back. Hi, Kim. How are you tonight? Hi, Tara. Angela Hill. So happy that you're here tonight. How are you doing? We have Misha back. And Brenda. How are you tonight, Brenda? And Bobby's back. And Carmen. Hi, Melissa and Sarah. And hello again, Jesse. So glad that you guys came on over from the Members Live. Gretchen. Are you feeling better, Kim? I know the last time I saw you in a live, you weren't feeling too well. Hi, Mandy. How are you doing? Yes, I'm so glad that you're here, Mandy. And Sandra. Hi, Amy. How are you doing? Oh, I knew the last time I saw you in a live, you were not doing well, Kim. I hope you get better soon. Sandra, I'm happy that you can make it to a live. I need to get to where I can switch it around to where I'm using the camera on my laptop and using my cell phone to read on, but right now I have them the other way because I catch myself looking one way and it looks like I'm not looking at you. Hello, budgeting with Amy. Oh, yes, Misha, guy got the B. For those of you that don't know, we were when we were having our members live, I had a bee in the room, and it would kept coming, and it was getting close to my head, and so I told them, I said, guys, go have to come and get this bee before we go into the other live. So after we got off, I opened the door and I told him, I said, guy, there's a bee out here, and you're going to have to get it. So he came out here and he couldn't find it. Well, I went on into the kitchen to fix my drink, and he said, I got it. He said that he took the fly swat and just kind of went around the fans, and it was sitting on a blade up there, and it came out, and he got it. He did, but thankfully it wasn't a yellow jacket. For any of you that know the story, last summer I was sitting out here one day doing a video, and I could hear this buzzing and humming noise, and some yellow jackets had built a nest in between our house and the siding. So guy had to he put these bomb things up in there and got them, but it was a big long story. It was so funny, but that's why I have the little bee on my on my vacuum. That's where that little story for this bee come from. Yes, guy's my hero when it comes to bugs. And he'll say, why can't you get it? And I'll say, because that was part of our vows. He said, that was not in the vows. I said, yes, it was. I said, you promised that you would take care of me, and that is part of the vows. Kim Jason was telling us in the members live that he was allergic to bees too. And I was telling them my son is allergic to bees also. And he had a hard time because he was a landscaper for a long time. And he's also a master gardener. And That's not the profession when you are allergic to bees, let me tell you. And he actually had to quit doing that because he picked up a parasite in mulch. He was going to the landfill here, and they would take trees and mulch them, and you could go there and buy mulch. And he was getting his mulch from there, and he ended up picking up a parasite and was real bad sick with it. So he didn't go back to landscaping after that. He will do things around his own house, but he don't take jobs where he's doing it. Thank you, Misha. Okay, we'll let just a few more, see if a few more get in here, and we will go ahead and do our Saturday Night Live saving. And then we're going to do a little bit of this and that. And we're going to do some giveaways. That's funny, Kim. Oh, well, thank you. Hi there, Fiona. How are you doing tonight? So happy you could be here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do a this or that. We did 3 this or that's in the member slide, but I'm going to ask you the same ones and we might do a couple more because I want to see what you guys say. Tulips or daisies? Which ones do you like the best? I like daisies. Hi, Jeanette. How are you doing? Hi, Michelle. I'm so happy you could make it. I'm a daisy girl too, Angela. I think I said one day in the live that I like daisies, and when Guy and I were dating, which was a long time ago, but when we were dating, he knew that I liked daisies. So whenever he would buy me flowers, he would always get me daisies. I love all flowers, and I love tulips too, but daisies are my favorite. When I go shopping for flowers, I always get some Gerber daisies to put on my patio. I do too, Kim. Hi, how are you doing? Is it Junai? Junai Kendrick? Thank you for subscribing. And Bobby likes daisies. Well, thank you for coming to the live, Junai. Kendra painted a daisy on her bedroom door. Well, that's neat. Well, let me tell you a funny talking about autocorrect. You guys are going to get a kick out of this. My sister in law called Guy this morning and she said, "Are you guys coming tomorrow?" She said, "But she's got company, and we usually don't go over there when her company is there." But she called and she said, "Are you guys going to come tomorrow? Because I'm going to make chicken and dumplings and I'd like for you to come." So Guy told her he'd let her know. So this afternoon he said, "What are we going to do about going to May's?" I said, "Well, we'll go. That's fine." He said, "Well, you need to text her and let her know that we're coming." So I sent her a text and I said, "We'll be there tomorrow." So she texted me back. She said, "Great. We're going to have hiking and dumplings." And I know that sometimes she does go on these long walks. And I told Guy, I said, Guy, she's going hiking tomorrow. I said, I can't go hiking because my right knee gives me a fit if I walk a very long time. And I said, I can't go hiking. Well, about that time, she texted back with a big old laughing emoji. She said, I meant chicken and dumplings. She said, not hiking. She said, this darn phone. And I laughed till I cried at her. It was so funny. She said, I meant chicken and dumplings, not hiking and dumplings. But I just got through telling Guy, I kept saying, telling Guy, I can't go, I'm not going hiking. Let's see, there's Amy Vanisdale. She's come in while I was talking. It's great. Well, I think we had mostly daisies. We had a couple tulips, I think. Okay, let's go ahead and do our saving. And if any of you don't have this, let me know and I will put the link up or I will send it to you. Just let me know. And we are now into the last little egg here in April. And I'm going to be putting in $5. And this, for those of you that don't know, this is a savings challenge that we're doing just in the Saturday Night Live. And you're welcome to the challenge. I can put the link in if you don't have it. So let's see how much we have now. And I'm doing $5 a week. Some people are doing the same thing and some people are doing different. I have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, $85 in this challenge so far. And I'm trying my best to leave the money in here and not touch it and see how much it is at the end. Well, I could add it up and see how much it's going to be. I don't want to. I want it to be a surprise. So that's where we are right now. Next week, we'll be starting with that first little flower in May. Okay, Maudie. I'm glad that you're joining us with it. Okay, Junai says she don't have it. If you hold on, I'll put the link over here. Okay, see if that works for you. If it doesn't work, you can send me an email and I will send it back to you. Okay, good, Marty. Hi, Traditional Dollar. Yeah, I've got my emergency fund out. I'm going to be putting $10 in my emergency fund tonight. Okay, great. I'm glad that you're going to join us in saving. That's great. I'm glad we've got a new person saving with us. Hi, Heather. You did make it back. Marty, that's what I'm doing. If on this one, I'm doing $5 an icon, and you'll see that the like in May it's flowers, and I'm going to be doing $5 for each flower. I've done $5 for each little icon, but you can do it however you want. You can do $5. You can do a roll and save, whatever you want to do. Okay, June, like I said, you can just do it however you want to. When I first created it, I thought we'll do a roll and save every week, but then I thought, no, I think I'm just going to do $5 a week, and everybody else, you can do it however you want. You just do a roll the dice and put in how much the dice says, or you can just do $5 if you want to do $10. You can if you want to do a dollar. It's all up to you. I'm just glad that you're saving with us. Okay, Belinda says she's doing a roll and save. That's great. Okay, Maudie says that she's going to do the $5. I think we have 90 members, TTD. We have 90 members now. That's great, Kim. I'm still a ways away from finishing my emergency fund, but I figured I would work on it all year, and I hope by the end of the year to have it done. Okay, great, Fiona. I'm glad. Hello, Holly. How are you doing? Holly, we just got through doing our savings challenge, the Saturday night live with Judy. We just got through doing that. Are you doing that with us? It's been nice here too. It's been cloudy part of the day, like it was going to pour the rain, but so far we haven't had any. Thank you, Kim. Okay, good, Janai. That's great. Hello, Terry. How are you doing? Oh, I know what you mean, Holly. I've kind of stretched myself really thin too. I think as I get some challenges done, I'm going to back on. What I've been doing is if I get a challenge done, then I add in one in its place. I think I'm going to, as I get one done, kind of leave those envelopes blank for a little bit until I can get some more finished because I've kind of got myself a little too many going too. And of course, and believe me, I'm not whining about this at all. But my savings comes from my YouTube money and my Etsy money. Well, the last couple of weeks, Etsy's been terrible. So this next week, I probably won't be saving as much as I usually do, and we'll have to back off on that a little bit. But it's okay because I'm still going to save what I have. I'm still going to do my videos every day, and we'll just save what we've got. So that's the way it's going to go. And I can't say that really I haven't kind of liked a little bit of a break this week. It's been kind of nice. So, but I have created some new things, and I'm getting ready that will be going into my Etsy shop on Monday. And so I'm anxious for that, and I hope that they go over well. Yeah, Misha, that's what I'm not haven't stopped any, but as I finish some, I'm not going to start a new one until I get some more finished, I think. Because I just had a little bit too many. That's kind of what I've done to myself too, Tara. I've um, I've got too many long challenges, and I've got money time too long. So I'm going to start trying to put in more shorter challenges. The long ones are great because you end up with so much money at the end, but it's kind of hard when you have that money tied up like that. So I think I'm going to start trying to do some shorter ones. Yeah, me too, Holly. I've got too many long ones. I say that, and then what I do Friday, I added two long ones. But I love them, so I went ahead and added them. But they don't take a lot of money. They're like $6 each time. Yeah, you will, Kim. The one thing I like about the monthly ones that I'm doing is because they are small amounts, $5, each or whatever. And of course my scratcher is a little bit more, and the seasons is a little bit more, but it's the others are like $5, so it's not too bad. Yeah, I've got several in my $5 Friday. I've got too many long ones, and so I think as I get some of those out, I'm gonna put in shorter challenges. And not only that, you seem like you have a quicker win too, even though it's a smaller amount of money. That's probably a good idea, Kim. I usually my freebies or minis, whatever. I usually use that money to fund little sinking funds that I have, the things that are not debt or Christmas. I have several sets of monthly challenges too, Jason. I'm doing my monthly challenge, which is the 2025, and I'm doing Norella's budgets. I'm doing hers, D plans and budgets. Um, Danny from Craft Budgets, and Betty Budgets, The Dying Outlaw, and then another one that's a whole group of ladies. I'm doing all of theirs, but they're all $5 each. Plus, I'm doing a monthly scratcher one that is mine. Plus, I'm doing Saving Through the Seasons, which is mine. So those are my monthlies, but I'm not adding any more to them. And what I decided to do, all the 2025 and the Norellis budgets, I'm going to leave that money in there all year, but the rest of them, I'm taking them out monthly as I finish them. Yeah, I love the monthly challenges. I think that they're fun, and and like Fiona says, you have, at least you've got some wins every month. That's true, Tara. The games do take a lot of your money. Okay, Misha says that she's leaving her hot money in. I'm not. I'm going ahead and using the prop money when we get 25. Like, okay, like self-care, when we hit 25, I went ahead and moved 25 into my sinking fund binder, into self-care. That's what Guy and I use for haircuts. So I went ahead and moved that money in there, and then I put the prop money in. And that's what I did last year. But I had thought this year that I would just try to leave it all in, but I don't know if I can leave that much money in there all the time. Okay, Bobby says that she's going to take hers out in June and in December. Now, the money I am leaving in and not touching is my daily dollar. All of that money is in here. And the saving through the seasons, I'm leaving that. My travel binder that I do a video for members, I'm leaving that money completely in there. My scratchers, monthly scratchers, that money's staying in there. My box money, my challenge box money, I don't touch it. But I do move the money out of my hop when we hit 25. And I move the money out of my monthlies when I finish them. Save with Rose, sometimes, like last month or this month, when I do my Monday monthlies video, I'm going to have to add a little more than $5 on a couple of them because it's going to take more than $5 to finish those two, and in order to get them done in time. Hello, Patty. How are you? Yes, I love the box challenges, and I'm using those for specific things. The travel challenges that I'm doing in the box challenges, I'm actually using that money for travel. The Christmas box challenges I'm using for Christmas. I don't know yet what I'm going to do with the bakery box or the calendar month because I don't know where that money's going to go. But those other two, that's what I'm using the money for. Actually, I finished up one of my travel box challenges the other day, and it was 400 and oh, was $460 or something like that. And I did a video for my members where I stuffed all that money into my uh, travel binder that I'm doing that is actually from Teach Jen at Teach Save Travel, and a whole bunch in there from that the other day. Taking all my money out each month on the monthlies except the 2025 money and the one for Norella's budgets, and saving through the season and the scratcher one. But those other little ones, I've been taking them out. Yes, Save with Rose did sneak in. I just happened to look up and see her there. Okay, let's do a giveaway, you guys. We're gonna got a sports theme going on tonight. Hi, Mary. How are you doing? We'll do that emergency fund in just a minute, but we're going to do a giveaway. I've got some sports scratchers that I'd like to give away tonight. We are doing Make That Goal, and this is a soccer scratcher. I thought it'd be fun to do some summertime scratchers tonight, and we're going to go with sports. So this one we're going to do one through 60. Let's do 1 through 60, and we'll go ahead and start now. I see numbers all around it. Okay, so we've got a winner. It's Laura Bell. It's Laura Bell. It was number 2. The reason I said you're not going to believe it is because she won one of the scratchers over in the members live. Let me get this other pen. Okay, Laura Bell will be getting 2. Congratulations, Laura. I'll put this one over here to put with your other one. Yes, Laura Bell, you are on fire. Hi, Donna. Yes, you need to go buy a lottery ticket. It was somebody over in the members live. She had just come in and put the number in and she won, and somebody said that she was just sneaking in for the win. Hi, Kimberly. I got your card today and it is beautiful. I love it. Thank you. She sent me the prettiest Easter card and some stickers. How are you doing tonight, Donna? Have you gotten rested up? Yeah, thank you, Kimberly. I love it. Okay, let's do another this or that. Chocolate bunny or marshmallow peeps? And I'm chocolate. I'm a chocolate lady all the way. Yes, I'm excited for May too, Donna. Just a few more days. Can you believe 4 days it'll be May? We just had Christmas a couple weeks ago. Hello, Grace. And Heidi. Is it Sisu? Mary's a marshmallow lady. Yes, positivity all month long, Donna. That's what we have to work on. No Debbie Downers this month. I know, Marty. It is ridiculous. It just seems like it was just Christmas and my kids were here. Now we've already gone through Valentine's and Easter and on to May. It's hard to believe. Yes, positivity every day. That is true. That's what sometimes you have days that you feel so down. I know for me, I do there's days that I get aggravated and then I feel bad because I feel aggravated because of what I'm aggravated over and I don't want to go into that. But so there's days that I feel like I'll feel sorry for myself and I'll feel like everything's just been left on me. And but then I'll feel bad because I feel like that. But then I'll turn around and you'll think, but you can always, my point is you can always find something positive, even if there's a bad day, and even if you start feeling sorry for yourself about something, you can turn it around and you can turn around and make something positive out of it. And that's what you have to do. Okay, so Mary says, are you going to be using your travel binder money for a trip? Yes, we are. We're trying to decide. I want to go to my daughter's in Florida like we did last year, but I'm kind of waiting to see what they are planning because I don't want to call and say, okay, Dad and I are coming down at this time and interrupt some plans maybe they're making. So I'm kind of waiting on her to tell me because Guy and I can go anytime. They can't, because they work. So, and the kids have school. I mean, there's school stuff going. And so I'm kind of waiting on her to tell me what their summer plans are. And we're going to work around that. And my niece from New York, they're going to Nashville at the end of July. And she's wanting us to come and meet them in Nashville for a couple of days. So we might be doing that. And then in September, we are going a trip on a trip over in the mountains with my sister, taking my sister and my niece and her son. And his son is coming to meet us there. So we are doing those trips for sure. But Guy and I were talking, we'd love to do a trip, maybe a small road trip, just the two of us. But we don't really know what we want to do yet. Oh, I'm sorry, Heather. I'm not, I'm not sure, what it is, and I don't want you to tell us, but I'll be thinking about you tomorrow. Okay, Lynette says she's going to start a travel binder. Yes, I love my travel binder, and that's where that money is going. All other challenges, it's going to either Christmas or debt, or my freebies and uh, my little sinking fund challenge. Those things are going into little individual sinking funds. But my big things like my big scratching Tuesday, my friends challenges, all those are all going toward debt. I want to pay our lawnmower off, and I want to pay a couple credit cards off. Yes, Danny, I love my travel. I love to travel, and Guy and I have not got to travel the last 2 years like we'd like to, and I'm putting an end to that. I want to get back on the road some. Hi, Penny. I didn't see you come in. Hi, Bookish Mama Budgets. I didn't see you come in either. And Danny, I was running my mouth and I missed you guys. Okay. I like a travel binder, Patty, because you can specify, okay, this money is going for a trip or for, whatever you want to use it toward a trip. That's why I like that. That is true. That is true, Tara. She says a smile has the power to lift someone's spirits and turn their day around. That is so true. Oh, believe me, Belinda, I would love to go every place that's in that travel binder, but I know I can't, and I never will. But I still love it. Danny, I'll be so happy for you when you get to go home. I know you're wanting to so bad. That's true, Mandy. Guy and I just went on an overnight last month, I guess it was, and just that little short break did wonders. Just to get away from everything, just for 24, 30 some hours, it was so nice. Okay, Patty, that binder that I use for that you see me do in the members a members video, this actually was made by Jen at Teach Save Travel, and you can get it in her Etsy shop, and it comes as an 8.5 by 11 printable. And what I did is I cut it down to this size, like a 5 by 7 size, and then laminated it and made envelopes out of the pages, out of each page, and made a little binder with it. But it's over on, and it's not expensive. It's over in her Etsy shop. Oh yeah, Danny, I'll be happy when you get to go, and I'm so anxious to hear stories of when you go home. Yes, that's what I did too, Danny. She had hers like that, so I made it like that too, and it's really convenient being that small. I like it, and then the envelopes are there for each page. I really like that. Oh, that's good, Heather. Yes, it's so nice to do that. Even when our kids was younger, when our kids still lived at home, Guy and I tried at least once a year. We would do a little weekend thing, and my mom would usually just keep the kids, and we would go on just an overnight somewhere or something. It does you so much good, so much good. Mary, bless your heart, I think you're a little late with the numbers, but we're going to do another one in just a minute. I don't know if it's you something to do with the system. Oh, Danny, that's so nice. I called both of my grandsons last night, and of course one is in Tallahassee, one's in Orlando. So I called them both, and they were one of them was with his girlfriend, and the other one was studying for an exam. And but they're doing good. I get to talk to Alex more than I do them because when I call Amy, Alex is usually always with her, so I would talk to her a lot, but I don't get to talk to the boys as much. But I try to stay in touch with them. Hey, Dina, how are you doing? Okay, I've got another this and that for you. Okay, you like shortcake or carrot cake? I said strawberry shortcake, but on our members live, we got more carrot cake answers. That's so funny, Bobby. I can just see that. Mary likes both. I do too, Mary, but if I had to choose one, I'd probably take the strawberry shortcake. Looks like over here I was outdone by the carrot cakes, but over here I think we're pretty even. Yeah. Heather, my sister loves carrot cake. No, I don't care where we're going. If they've got carrot cake, she's getting it and taking it home. Hello, Dolores. How are you doing tonight? I'm so glad to see you. And hello, up to the challenge budget with Sandy. So happy you could be here. You guys very busy today? I was I can tell you a little story about the strawberries in just a minute, Kim. I was just going to say that today we went. A guy asked me last night. He said, "What are you doing tomorrow?" And I said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "I've got a live tomorrow night." And he said, "Why don't we get up in the morning and go to Cracker Barrel for breakfast and let's go look at campers?" And I thought, campers? Why? Because we're not in the market for a camper. But he wanted to do it, so that's what we did. We went to Cracker Barrel this morning and we just went around and looked at some campers. He has this dream where he would like to just sell our home and buy an RV and go on the road, but that's not happening. I want a home to my kids can come to. Even though I would love to go on a road in an RV, but I'm not going to sell my house to do it. I don't want to. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and save my emergency money, Mary. I'm going to put $10 in tonight. I don't have as much money this week, but I'm putting $10 in. Let me color in another 10. Okay, so this is what my binder looks like so far. Still a ways to go, but I'm hoping that by the end of the year I will get there. The story I was going to tell you about the strawberries. When I worked at the TV station, we had Amy was about 2 years old, maybe three. She might have been three. And the station sold to a new owner, these guys from Pennsylvania. And so we were having a reception for them. And we had food out and everything. Well, the man who was our general manager at the time, he just took up with Amy and he kept feeding her strawberries. Well, that night she broke out in hives and we ended up having to take her to the emergency room. And then on Monday, I was telling his secretary, I wasn't thinking about, Bob or anything, and he got tore all to pieces. He said, "It's because I fed her all those strawberries." And he was so upset because he thought it was because he fed her all the strawberries. But honestly, we could never pin it to the strawberries. And she's eaten strawberries since and was fine. But he was so convinced that he had caused it because fed her a bunch of strawberries. Okay, Danny says that she's going to be buying a toy hauler next summer. I'm not real sure what that is. Oh, I do know what that is. Oh, that's good. Yeah, Heather, that's what Guy keeps saying. But I would love it if I had the money just to go buy an RV and us hit the road, but I don't want to sell my home to do it. He keeps saying, "Well, that's all we need. We don't really need I mean, well, there's times that all of our kids come home. Amy comes home and the grandkids all come home. There's been times that I've had all three bedrooms filled with people. I've had my sofas filled with people. We actually put a sleep sofa out here because we've used it before. Because sometimes my niece will come down at the same time Amy does, and I'll have a house full. And I don't want to do that to where they can't come. Hi, Lillian. How are you doing? How's Wendy? She doing good? Hi, Budget with A&A. Thank you, Danny. We had a terrible time with my son. I'll go ahead and tell you real quick, and we'll do another giveaway. When he was about 4 years old, he got sick one summer with pneumonia. So I took him to his doctor, and they put him on amoxicillin, which is a penicillin. And he got real sick. I don't want to make this sound bad, but everything he ate just went straight through. And he got real sick, and he got real skinny. Well, they did some testing and stuff, and they said it was from the penicillin, and that he had what they called serum sickness, which I don't know, that's just what the doctor called it. So they had us not take him off of everything. He couldn't eat anything, or anything for a long time. And my niece at the time was babysitting him, and she said it would just kill her because she would have to sneak and eat because he couldn't have anything but popsicles and Sprite and stuff like that. So then they did that to get everything out of his system and then start adding stuff back. Well, everything we started adding back, he would break out in hives then. So we ended up having to take him to North Carolina for them to do this testing on him. And like I said, he was only about 4 years old. And they put him in a room, and they had two nurses hold him down and hold his little arms out and took his clothes off. And they did, like, it was like 120 shots in his arms, and Guy was in there with him, and I stayed out in the waiting room with Amy, and I could hear him screaming. And Guy said the nurse actually told him, and she said, you need to duck, because they were going to do it so fast that was afraid they were going to hit him with needles, because Guy said they had needles flying all over that room. They were shoot and throw because they were trying to do it so fast. And Guy said before they did that, they had him lay on his stomach, and they told him they were going to run this little roller ball down his back. And she told him that it's just going to feel like, she said it's just going to feel like a little kitty cat. Well, they started rolling it. And of course, it's got like a little razor on it to make little nicks to where they can put just, drops of stuff in. And so Guy said they started doing it. And she said, it's just going to feel like a little kitty cat. And he said, Gary looked at her and he said, it feels like a tiger to me. But and then when we brought him home, he just had to sit in the car with his shirt off, and he had whelps all over him, and I just sit in the front seat and cried. But gradually over the years, he was able to add stuff back, and he still has allergies to some stuff, but not like he did then. But he can never take penicillin. Oh, good, Mary. I'm glad that you're going to start your travel binder. Oh, Wendy's sick. Thank you, Lillian, for letting me know. I'm sorry that she's got a cold. Oh, good, Danny. I'm looking forward to that too. I'll be there in that live. I know, Rose. It was terrible. It was awful. The guy said those nurses had needles flying all over the room. He said that nurse wasn't kidding when she told him to duck down. He was too, Kim, for a long time, and we just had to keep trying to see if he could eat this or that, and eventually he's got back. He can eat about anything. There's he can't. There's certain things that he still can't, and sometimes I can tell even now, even though he's a grown man, I can tell when he's had an allergic reaction to something, or maybe gotten too so much something, because he'll get dark circles under his eyes. But he wasn't like that before he took that penicillin. Okay, let's do another giveaway. We are going to, like I said, we're keeping with the sports. And then this one, we've got a fisherman, and it says find the goldfish. And this one is for a $75 savings. So we will do 1 to 60. So let's see who wins. Go. Hi, Kimmy. Okay, I see it. Okay, we've got a winner. It is Donna, powered by creativity. It was 18. Congratulations, Donna. See where I put that pin. Congratulations, Donna. I will get this in the mail to you. Well, Donna and Laura are racking up tonight. Last time it was Tara that racked up, remember? She won twice. Lynette said she was around that. Hi, lovely budgets. How are you? It's morning where you are, isn't it? Are you getting ready to go to work? Well, good, Donna. You are blessed. And you bless us all the time. Hi, Jen. I didn't see you come in. I'm glad you can make it. We had a good time. Okay, Lovely Budget said she's good and that she will start at 11 a.m. Hi, Kimmy's Corner. Yeah, I'm glad you could make it too. I had a good time on Andra's live last night. We had a good time on it. She's got company in, so I'm sure that's why she's not here tonight. But she has two friends visiting her this weekend. Did everybody do their Saturday Night Live savings? We did it a little earlier before some of you come in. We saved our $5, but you save whatever you're saving. Oh, I hope she didn't get her car towed either. For those of you that don't know and was not on Andra's live last night, her car got towed where the apartment that she lives in. They have, because she had visitors and she let them have her space, and she parked her car in what she thought was a visitor space, and her car got towed. It was fun, Mahi. It was fun. Okay, Lynette, the group play role in the members live was a 4 and a 6. We did 2 because we missed last week. So it was a 4 and a 6 for a total of $10 for tonight. Yes, Dolores, I'm doing $5 a week, and I think most people are, but there's some people that are doing just $1 a week, or they're doing a roll and save, and that's fine too. You can do it however you want to do. We're just saving a little bit together every Saturday night. That's what it's all about. Even if it's $1, that's fine. That's true, Jen. That is true. She was, from what they said, she was really upset, and I don't blame her. They were fun, Patty. They were having such a good time with each other. Yes, Lynette, it was the first roll was a six, and the second roll was a four. And then we'll have a new one next week. And for those of you that don't know what we're talking about, I have a little members uh, challenge that we do in the members live at 7 o'clock. That's just for members. That's what they're asking me what the rolls were. I don't want people wondering what we're talking about. Oh, did they say that Andrew snores the worst? Guy says that I'm a talker. He says all the time that I talk in my sleep. He told me yesterday he didn't know what I was dreaming the night before. He said, but I was talking up a storm. I don't know that I do it, but he says I do. Hi, Minnie. Okay, let's do another this or that. A park picnic or a backyard barbecue. I would rather have a backyard barbecue for me. We used to do that a lot. We would have people come up and we would have do hamburgers and things like that outside, but we didn't do that at all last summer. We used to do it a lot on the 4th. Okay, most people are saying backyard barbecues. Mandy would rather do the picnic. Mandy, I think you've lost. Most people like that backyard barbecue. We used to do them a lot. Oh, hi, Eva. Eva is on a cruise ship in Juneau. Oh, I hope you're having a wonderful time. I would love to do that trip. We've actually looked at it, but the flight to Washington costs more than what the cruise does. I hope you're having a great time. I would love to do that Alaska cruise, and then where you get off the ship and get on the train. They have it one that does that, and you go on a train for a couple of days, and then you get back on the ship. That would be so much fun. I hope you have the best time. Oh, good. She says she's having a blast. Well, that's great. I'm glad you could check in with us. Yes, you party it up, Eva. You deserve it. Yeah, the train would be fun, I think. I think the train doesn't the train take you through the national park that's there. What is it called? Denali? I think it goes through Denali Park. That would be so nice. Oh, you saw some whales. Oh, lucky you. Guy and I went to Cape Cod a few years ago, and I actually bought tickets for us to go out on a whale boat or a whale watching boat. And right the day before, we were actually had just got to the town where we were going to be staying, and we got a text from them saying that they had canceled it because of rough water. So we ended up taking the ferry over to Nantucket, and that was fun too, but I still would have liked to have seen the whales. Yes, that sounds great. Good night, Jessie. I'm so glad you were able to come. Okay, good night, Marty. Tell your son that we all told him happy birthday. I'm so glad you could come in to the live. Okay, I've got another. We're going to do one more scratcher, and it's another sports one, and it is a hole in one. And this one is for a $50 savings. So we will go 1 to 60. Go ahead. Okay, okay, we've got a winner. We've got a winner, and it is Tara. Lifted up and living. The number was 26, and she won this one. Lucky Tara. We're going to have to nickname her something to do with Lucky, because she is. Congratulations, Tara. Okay, would you rather hear birds chirping or rain falling? Hmm. I like the sound of both of those things. Oh, thank you, Misha. Twinkle Fingers Tara. There we go. Okay, Heather likes rain falling. So does Angela and Misha. Just a chick. I like both too. I have a lot of birds in my backyard. So I wake up every morning to the birds chirping. But I love hearing the rain too. If it's a nice, just solid rain, not a storm. I like both. I don't know. It's hard for me to choose on that one. Yes, rain on a tin roof. Good night, Angela. I'm so happy you came by. The house that Guy grew up in, they had a tin roof, and his bedroom was upstairs. And after we got married, we moved into an apartment. We lived with his mom and dad for about 2 weeks. And we moved into an apartment, and we were in the apartment for several months. And then we decided to move back in with his parents so we could save the money to build a house. That lasted about 2 months. We wanted back on our own. But his bedroom was upstairs, and they had a tin roof, and you could hear it so loud when it would rain. But we only lived with them for a couple months, and we moved back out. And Oh, Lillian says that birds make her want to get out the shotgun because she's not a happy riser. I hear birds chirping early in the morning. I would love to have a big old front porch with a swing on it and where you could sit out when it was raining and just swing and it raining, just the soft rain. That would be so nice. We have a, I have a patio. We have furniture on out back, and then we have a pergola out front that we have furniture on. But if you sit out there, you would get wet, even though they have the top on. So I can't do that. Good night, Donna. Hi, Symphony Brian Pryor. How are you doing tonight? No, Patty, I'm not yet. My plan was my niece was leaving Monday morning. I thought I would get Guy and Gary to help me get everything moved Monday. But Monday come and I didn't feel like doing it myself. So I'm still out here in the sunroom right now, but we're going to get moved in there sometime this summer. I don't know exactly when. But I will be moved in there before it starts getting cold again for sure. Maybe even before then, because it won't be long till it'll be getting hot out here. Because if I sit out here when it's real hot, I've got to have the fans going. And in the winter, you've got to come out here and turn a little heater on and have the heat on for a couple of hours before I can come and video. It's really a pain. I'm doing great, Symphony. I hope you are. Yeah, me too, Patty. Me too, because it can get really cold out here. In case some of you don't know, I actually am in my sunroom and we don't have heat out here. And so I have a little heater that sits on the floor, and I will have to come out here and turn it on for a couple of hours before I can come out here and video for 30 minutes and then turn it back off. And it's really kind of a pain. So Guy and my son has been trying to get me to move my office really into our living room, which nobody ever uses. Nobody sits in there. So I think we're going to take my sofa that is in there, bring it out here and put it, just have two sofas out here in the sunroom, and I'm going to move my desk in there. You are, Tara. That's true. You're going to have to make a Judy scratcher binder. That's for sure. That is for sure. Yeah, I think it'd be better, Misha, because in the living room it'd be kind of the same temperature, all year long, and it will be better. I just kind of didn't want to do it because I didn't want to mess that room up. But Amy, even my daughter Amy, she said, "Mom, I don't know why you don't do it." She said, "Nobody sits in there." So that's what I'm going to do. Because see, we have a huge family room, and that's where we stay all the time. That's where we live, and we don't really use the living room. Oh, I know what you mean, Minnie. Yes, Mary has several of my challenge binders and books. I think don't Mary, don't you have the cookies all year long, and don't you have the what's the name of it? Saving through the seasons. I think you have that one too. Oh gosh, I have too many binders. I will. I started out with one little purple binder, And then I'd say, oh, well, I want to make a binder for this kind of challenge, and I want to make a binder for that kind of challenge. Then when we started the box challenges, I thought, well, I wanted to have this color binder for this one. I wanted to have this. And I've got too many binders, too many. Oh, I'm not just saying it's because mine. I really enjoy using the cookies, Christmas cookies all year long. I think it's going to be a nice Christmas savings because you'll save $600 with that one during the year. But I'm getting ready to I was telling some of them before some of you come in. I'm going to have an Etsy drop, I think, Monday. And I'm doing, so watch for that. I'm not finished with it yet. There's still a couple things I'm not finished with, but I'm wanting to have an Etsy drop on Monday. I have a lot too, Heather. I don't know. I'm going to say I'd probably go over the 18, but I don't know. I don't know. I started out with one little binder that I ordered off of Amazon. And then it came in several colors. So I thought, ooh, I'd like to have the pink one and the yellow one and the blue one to go with it because they matched. Well, that went from to all these that I have. And I thought, well, I've got to have a separate one for my scratchers. I wanted to have a separate one for uh, Friends Day Wednesday, which I did last year. Anyway, it's just boomeranged. Okay, bye, Eva, and you have a wonderful time, my friend, and we will see you when you get back home. I hope you have the best time ever. Bye bye. Yeah, Bobby, those binders can creep up on you, can't they? I've bought so many that actually I got a message from Amazon today with a picture of a binder and saying, you might like this one. No, I won't. Hi, Lillian. I'm so glad you come too. Oh, yeah. That gets expensive, that shipping. I know that I've had several order from me that are out of the country, and what they pay for shipping is awful, and I totally understand that. So I offer in my Etsy shop, I will ship to anywhere, and I ship in the U.S. free shipping. But if somebody outside the U.S. buys, then they have to pay the shipping because it is so expensive. But I've had several, pay it, and that it is expensive. Oh, thank you for coming, lovely budgets. I'm so happy you had the time to pop in with us. Okay, Patricia, what I do is I'll take what my Etsy money and my YouTube money and money that we have left over after paying our bills, and I will divide it among these little pouches that you see me get money, that you see me get. I will divide it and put it in here. And what I do is I go through what challenges I'm going to be doing that day, and I determine from that how much money I'm going to need in that pouch for that day. That was telling some of this week is going to be a little less money than what I've been having, but that's all right. I'm going to save what I have. I know what you need. I know exactly what you're saying, Mary. I did the same thing. Okay, good night, Kim. I'm so happy that you came. Yeah, I know. And see, here's the crazy thing, Tara. What I do to buy a stamp for a scratcher that's bought someone from another country buys, if they didn't have to pay the fee, I would do it for free because for just a scratcher, it's just a little over $1 to mail, which 73 cents, here. But when they buy it on Etsy, it automatically charges them the postage fee. So I don't know what to do about that. Because a single scratcher, I would be fine with, going ahead and doing free shipping overseas or Canada or wherever. But Etsy charges them that big amount because they're out of country. And I don't know how to go in and set it to where they won't. But then I'm afraid if I do that, then they order something like a binder. That's going to be pretty expensive to mail. Yeah, Patty, you should do it. Oh, that's great, Mary. That's great. I've tried to get some in my family to get interested in it too, but I can't get them there. I've actually made binders for a couple of them. I have finally got my niece, bless her heart. Um, she doesn't have a lot of money. She just has nothing but her Social Security, and about every month she's going over her budget, and her mom's having to help her out, or I'm helping her out. So finally, I set her down last month and I said, "This is what we're doing." And I made put her a little wallet together with the little envelopes and said, "Okay, this is grocery money, this is gas money, this is your personal money," and did it like that. And I sat down with her. I took her bank statement. I said, "This is how much cash you can get out. And when we go to the bank on the second Wednesday of the month, take this much cash out, and here's how we're dividing it. And do not swipe anymore. Do not use that money in the bank because I pay her bills for her." I said, "Do not use that money in the bank, and that way I can get online and pay your bills." So far, it's working. I hope that it does. She still can't get it quite through her head that just because her check is going in the bank, she can't spend that money. She was telling me just the other day that her taxes were her property tax thing come the other day, and she said, "I've got to go check my savings and see if I've got enough to pay it." Well, she come back the next day and she said that she didn't have quite enough. She said, "I guess I'll just have to wait till my check comes and just pay it then." I said, "No, you can't." I said, "Penny, that's what I'm trying to tell you. You cannot spend any of the money that you leave in the bank. I need it to pay your bills." I said, "It's not going to hurt for a couple of months because she has some come out automatically and go into her savings." I said, "A couple months, let that money go in there, and then you'll have the money to go do it. But you don't have the money to just go up there and pay it." I can't get that through her head. Bless her heart. I love her to death, but sometimes it's really hard. And then I have a very impatient sister too, and that's very hard. To tell you how impatient my sister is, she needed a paper from Social Security. I called on a Friday at 3:30 and asked them to mail me that paper, and the lady said, she said, "I will," and she said, "I will go ahead and mail it to you instead of to her." I said, "Great." This was 3:30 on Friday. She called me Saturday morning wanting to know if I had got that paper. I said, "Ann, they are not going to send it overnight." I said, "Not only that, you're dealing with the government, and the government doesn't work that fast." I said, "We're going to be lucky if we get it next Friday." Well, that next Friday she called, "Did you get it?" I said, "No." Finally, it did come this Friday, and I'm going to her house tomorrow. We're going to fill it out. I'm going to get it in the mail, but that's what I deal with. uh, Patricia, that is the wedding is next Sunday. I'm taking her Friday and having her hair, getting her hair cut, and getting her nails done. And her granddaughter's getting married next Sunday. I know, Dolores. That's people I talk to. They're the same way. That's right, Angela. It will add up, and that's what I try to tell them too. But finally, I think I have got her finally where she's realizing that the money, the cash that she has, is all the cash that she can spend. Yes, Gretchen, I am, and believe me, they run me and Guy ragged. That is true. That's why I can't, Guy and I can't just up and leave and go on a trip unless I make sure Gary's going to be home. My niece has a son, but if you've heard the word worthless, bless his heart, that's Matthew. He does nothing, offers to do nothing. And Gary is taking care of mowing her yard and and everything because her son just does not help. I'll give you a good example. You remember back in the summer when she was in the hospital, bad off for several days? Guy and I were getting ready to leave for Florida, and I went down there to check on them before we were going to leave. And she was really bad, sick. And so I called him, and he did not answer, but I called his daughter, so she called him. And I told him I needed somebody to take her to the emergency room. And he said he couldn't take her because he didn't have air conditioning in his car. So we had to put off our trip for a couple of days because I went and sat at the hospital from Saturday to Monday night because nobody else would or could. It's a long story. Anyway, finally, her sister came and stayed with her because I paid her to. That's what I'm dealing with. And she was a lot better, but then I wouldn't have left if she had been still bad off, but she was a lot better. Oh, I don't know, Gretchen. I would never ever do anything that would make them feel bad. I would never ever ever hurt my sister's feelings. And it would hurt her feelings if she thought that I felt like they were a burden, and they're not a burden. It's not that. That's the reason sometimes I even feel bad for feeling that way, even though some days it just wears you out mentally, but I would never ever ever want her to think that. I love her to death, and I would never want her to think that. And I would always take care of her no matter what. The one good thing is they do live right here where we are. They like my house is here, and then the little house that my mom and dad built for my grandmother, is in between me and my sister, and that's a little rental house that we have now, and it really belongs to Gary. But they're not. She's just within walking distance through the field. So luckily, they live close. Oh my goodness, Patricia, I am so sorry. Patricia, I am so, so sorry to hear that. Bless your heart. Yes, I am so sorry to hear that. I've lost my mother quite a while ago, and she was my best friend and the person that I leaned on. And I know that it's hard. Yeah, that it's hard. Yes, I'll be praying for you. I know that you're feeling such a loss right now. My mother's been gone a long time now, and I still feel that loss. I have days that I wish I could just talk to her, tell her things. Sorry for Penny yesterday because I said, yeah, and I come through up here. He said she's locked herself out. So she had to go down and sit at my sister's house till her granddaughter could come and unlock the house because she had given her granddaughter a key and she was at work. So I had to text her and tell her when she got off work to come and let Penny in the house. But Penny comes and stays with her mom every weekend. And she just lives up the road. So it was fine. But she was so upset because she had locked her, she couldn't even drive down here. She had to walk to Gary's house because she left her keys in the house. Oh, I do too, Tara. I lost my mom. I think maybe it's been 20 years. Doesn't seem that long. Does not seem that long. But I lost her. My younger sister passed away just not even a year before my mom. And it's just months that I lost them. Yes, Dolores, I did the same thing. And my mother lived right down at the end of my driveway, the main house down there where my son lives now. And I was used to every day when I got off from work, I always stopped at mom's before I come home. And that was the hardest habit to break or to not be hurt every time I come home knowing that I couldn't stop. And that was so hard. Yeah, that's true, Mary. Mother's Day is just around the corner. I always took my mother to do her flower shopping the Saturday before Mother's Day. So I always think about that when it's time for Mother's Day. And I actually told God today, I said, I want to go buy my flowers. I said, but I'm going to wait to the Saturday before Mother's Day because that's what we always did. That's true, Patty. I've actually lost my mom, dad, and a brother and a sister. It's just my older sister, Marianne, and myself that's left of the kids. Yes. Patricia, that's good that you were. I was with my mom too. Hi, Chrissy. How are you doing tonight? Patricia, you do feel that way, but you do. You do manage. It's not easy. I'm not going to tell you that it's not, but you do manage to get through because you just have to keep putting one foot in front of the other and doing what you have to do. My mom told me before she passed away, she said, I want you to do one thing for me. She said, on Mother's Day, I want you to put 4 roses on my grave. She said one for each one of her children. So every year I always go buy roses and I always take them and put them on her grave. And I'll put 4. What I usually do is I'll buy a dozen roses and I go put 4 on her grave, and then I go put some on my grandmother's, and I take the others over to put on my sister's. But I always put 4 roses on my grandmother's grave because that's what she asked me to do. Yes, we need to appreciate them while we have them because we never know when we're not. Patricia, if you ever need somebody to talk to, I'm here. I'm here. You can always email me, and if you need to, you can call me because I've been in your shoes, honey. That's true, Patty. It's a hurt that never really goes away, but you just have to cope with it and move on. The way always looked at it, I have to move on from my kids. That's what um, you have to live for them, and that's the way I've always looked at it. You can't live for the past. You have to live for the future, and you have to live for the ones that are here. Yeah, that's the way I've always looked at it. And it's what when my brother died. See, my mom and dad always like they had a kid away. My older brother and sister were like 13 and 11 when I was born, and then they had my sister who was 2 years younger than me. And my older sister and brother got married young, so we kind of grew up. My younger sister and I grew up in the house kind of to ourselves, even though we all always lived close to each other. So we've always been real. But when he passed away, my sister, my older sister, she just didn't think she could go on when Paul passed away, and that's what I kept trying to tell her. You've got to live for them. You can't live for the you just can't live in the past. To live for the future, and that's just the way I've always looked at it. It's not that you're not missing them. Like, I didn't miss them as bad as she did because I could go on, but that's not true. You miss them, but you've got to live for the ones that are living. That's right, Mary. That's what my mom taught me that too. Mary, I don't know, every now and then I put a recipe up, sometimes on a Friday in my video in the description. I actually made a family cookbook years ago that I just printed just enough for the family. I didn't sell them or anything, but I just get recipes different places and try them out. And if I like them, I have a big old notebook that I put them in. And I like to cook, and that's just what I do. But every now and then I do put a recipe up in the description in a Friday video. And usually I'll say on the thumbnail if I've got one in there. That's true, Mary. Everybody has their own way of grieving. It's true. Yes. I haven't, Patricia, but I'll do that. Let me make a note of that, and I will put that one up this Friday. It's easy. It's a really simple pot pie recipe. I don't make hard stuff. That's what happened to my niece Penny. To be honest, my husband died of a heart attack. He was a year younger than me at the time he died, but he's been dead now. I'm going to say about maybe 12 years. But she had a nervous breakdown when he passed away, and she was never the same after that. And truthfully, she is 65, 64, something like that. But you would honestly think that she was in her 80s. I mean, the way she walks like she is and understands like a person that age. And that's what happened to her. She literally grieved herself almost to death. And I would try my best to talk to her and tell her she had a son, she had granddaughters, that she needed to live for and that needed her. She had the hardest time for a long time. Oh, chili? Chili too. Okay. I will do that. Okay, it's 9:38. I guess it's time to get over here. We've had a good time again tonight. Seems like we'll always start out having fun and then we get into some really deep issues. But you know what? Tonight we needed to because I feel like Patricia needed us tonight. And sometimes I think that God puts people where He wants them. And maybe she needed to be in here tonight to have all of us to be here for her. And I'm so glad that we were. And Patricia, I meant it when I said you can call me. And I would not mind at all. And or email me or whatever. And so we'll go ahead and say good night. And I appreciate you guys coming into my lives on Saturday night. And we will do this again next Saturday night, 7 o'clock members, and we'll move right into 8 o'clock for everyone else. So always remember that I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow for Sunday Playing with Friends, and we'll be right back here Saturday night for another live. See you then, and I love everybody. Good night.